Hi, my friends. Iron Cameraman here. Titan TV Man's body is currently under the control of the Watchmen of Doom, and that creates a serious problem for the Alliance, now led by Titan Speaker Man. They're stuck with a one-sided task: find a way to take down Doom without harming TV Man himself. On top of that, we're suddenly going to talk about Lucky Cameraman. I noticed a couple of interesting details in his story. For example, why is he defending the secret agent when talking to Detective Cameraman, even though he knows the real reason behind the agent's help, the one that led to the scientist's death? And if he really knows what's going on, then why does he act so surprised when they find the TV Men books in the Skibidi Toilet lab? He even draws attention to them, like he wants the others to notice. You'd think, logically, he'd do everything possible to steer suspicion away from his employer. Now, some of you sharp-eyed viewers already see where I'm going with this. But even for you, I've got a few surprises saved for later in the video. So make sure to watch till the end. And drop a like if you want to have the strength of Titan Cameraman, the body of Microwave Man, and Titan Speaker Man's super weapon as a bonus. Alright, jokes aside, today's video is packed. So let's start with something simple. A couple of updates. First off, there's been news that 3 Skibidi Toilet novels are in the works. The first book is coming out at the end of summer, and it's being written by Lindsay Ely, who's better known for her Overwatch novel. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any more info, even after checking all her social media. In the end, I decided to message her directly and try to get at least some details. She hasn't replied yet. Maybe because of an NDA. After all, even though the release dates are public, they haven't even revealed the final covers. The current ones literally say, "not final." Even though we don't have details yet, I feel like it's going to be really cool. Her previous books, based on the reviews, were pretty well received. By the way, while I was editing the video, the book covers were revealed. And as we can see, it looks like each book is going to focus on a different Titan. But Skibidi Toilet isn't just taking over the bookshelves, it's also diving straight into the gaming world. A trailer just dropped for a Stumble Guys update. And guess what? We're getting character skins from the Skibidi fandom. And of course, there's some comedy in there too. Titan TV Man's design is adorable, but the color of his pants makes it look like he's not wearing any. Kinda reminds me of the good old times with the scientist. And finally, today's last update. Skibidi Toilet got nominated for not 1, but 2 Webby Awards. Right now, it's actually leading in both categories. Although in the second one, Best Community Engagement, the win isn't guaranteed yet. The gap between first and second place is super close. At the time I'm writing this, the lead is just 2%. If you want to help vote, you'll find the link in the description. In the last video, we talked about some storytelling techniques, and as a follow-up to yesterday's talk about fake deaths, I also want to mention that Mr. Boom really likes using the sacrificial hero move. A perfect example of that? Plunger Man. By the way, the latest Transformers movie has a similar plot twist where Bumblebee seems to die, but then comes back later. But in Skibidi Toilet, Plunger Man has already died twice. And unlike Bumblebee, things aren't so straightforward here, especially because of the secret agent's ability to control cameramen remotely. That's actually what got me curious about how this tech works in the first place. I wanted to better understand what we saw at the end of episode 70, and that led me to start paying closer attention to Lucky Cameraman, because out of everyone on the secret team, he's the one we've seen the most. The moment that really got me interested was the one with the detective, when he dove into Lucky's mind and saw all the videos in his memory, including the one where the secret agent yells about being evil and hands over the remote to help the Alliance. As viewers, we know that scene is fake, but let's dig deeper. If that video is a fake, a swapped file, then for the cameramen it works like a memory. Like for them, the video is the same as an actual memory, and that's a whole different level. That would mean Boom can implant any memory he wants into their heads, and they won't even realize something's off. They'll truly believe it really happened. And even if some of them start getting suspicious, it's almost impossible to tell what's real and what's an illusion. Everything gets mixed up. Imagine being totally convinced you experienced something, remembering all the details, feeling it, but in reality, it never happened. That's scarier than any weapon. And it actually makes sense. When they get a recording error, they don't just lose the ability to broadcast, they can't even record anything in their own memory. During that error, they literally lose consciousness, like they're switched off. At best, their short-term memory might still work. At worst, an entirely different personality wakes up. That might explain why Lucky Cameraman had questions about the book in episode 70. He just didn't remember it. Same in episode 65. He was scalucky of the policeman and raised his hand defensively, not understanding why he hadn't been killed. He didn't know the secret agent stepped in to save him. To make it even clearer, let me give you an example from a bonus scene in season 23. For the regular Lucky Cameraman, it all looked like this. He got shot, fell down, blacked out, and then woke up to see Speakerman helping him. Everything that happened during that error, including the part where the secret agent talked to him, was completely wiped from his memory. Either it got erased or replaced with a fake one. From his point of view, it never happened like we saw it. That's why he just stood up and walked over to check what was going on, and only then witnessed Plunger's death. Even though technically he could have gotten up earlier, in his real form, not a hologram. But that didn't happen, because if he had woken up at that moment, it wouldn't have been him. It would have been a different version, a different personality, with different memories. So yeah, most likely these two personalities are a bit different. Different brain functions, different memory zones, and the one that shows up during the error seems to have access to a part of memory that's Lucky in the secret agent's computer, not in the cameraman's actual head. Meanwhile, the normal version has no idea his second self even exists. From his perspective, there was no error, just one smooth, continuous experience, one memory, which is actually fake. So the one detective caught, it's not even the guy he's really looking for. This version of Lucky Cameraman has no clue what's really going on. And since Mr. Boom clearly did this arrest and even planned for it, it must be part of his bigger plan. Plus, the fact that Detective didn't find any useful videos or files means all the data is completely missing during those errors. But then you have to ask, how did Lucky Cameraman know what to do when they handed him the remote and said, "You know what to do?" If he doesn't have the memories, where does that knowledge come from? That could mean the memories in these alternate versions aren't recorded in their heads at all. They come from somewhere else, like Mr. Boom's servers, where they're lucky and managed. Now let's go even deeper. This means that Plunger really did die, and the one who survived is a completely different personality. He's got a different set of memories, a different life experience, and because of that, a totally different character. It's not the same person anymore, it's a whole new being in the same body. Of course, there are a few small inconsistencies in this theory if you look closely, but on a bigger scale, in a way, it could totally be true. The theory is still fresh, I'm still refining it, so feel free to drop your thoughts or critiques in the comments. Let me know where I might be wrong and what parts actually make sense to you. That way, we can dig even deeper together and figure out how this whole secret agent tech really works. And now, let's talk about the meaning behind today's thumbnail. Just like Lucky Cameraman, Titan TV Man also has two personalities inside one body right now. And personally, I think it would be incluckably cinematic, beautiful, and emotional to show a scene where Titan Speakerman is standing on the edge of a decision to finish him off or let him live. And knowing how kind Speakerman is and that he himself was once infected, I feel like he'll choose mercy at the very last second, and that decision might come back to bite him. Watchman of Doom, being a trained soldier of the Astro Army, could strike from behind when Speakerman least expects it. It's been a while since we've had a theory this deep and detailed. So if you want more content like this, wild theories, cinematic ideas, and possible storylines, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Iron Cameraman is out.
Are you ready? Wanted the pressure, I never complain. Shake it off and get back in the game. Pay the cost, now you're making your name. You can maneuver, move around.
The Skibidi Toilet Collection. Find it in stores and online at Walmart.